The market was in extremely tight range yesterday coming into the Fed announcement. Wasn't quite the same as the last time we made the announcement where it broke, made a new high, and then got crushed. But we did come off. The initial down move was to it's almost to 278.30 where we had supported the prior day. Popped a little bit. Then we flushed to 278 for the real bounce. Took us back above 279, and it looked like we could close up here and then maybe be off to the races this morning. But in the final hour, we sold all the way back down to 278 again, actually flushed through. And then earlier this morning when London opened, we were below the after hours low. But since I guess Europe is going up and Draghi is doing his press conference, we're right back inside of kind of the range from the last few days, which is basically 278.30 to 279.30. So price has spent almost these two entire days between here up until the final last big bar here at the end of the day between here. So we're getting a nice consolidation here. So we continue to see if we can hold above this, let's call it 278, 278.35, this little band right here. Any type of buying on the open that takes us into the 279 area, and after 10:30, 11 o'clock, if we break to the upside, you want to lean into that on the long side. A move down below 278 near the 277.80 is the after hours kind of support, and then a consolidation down here and a break and play for a move to the downside, which because about $1 of downside or so. The buyer's still pretty much in complete control of the market. Up, sideways, up, attempted pullback immediately right back up, and then the consolidation at the highs. Between 278 and 280, which we've been targeting since we bottomed down here. So the longer we spend up here, the more likely we are to move towards the all-time high. The fact that the consolidation is so tight up here supports the fact that that's more likely to happen than not. All right, IWM. So IWM has failed a couple of times right below 168, 2 days in a row actually. So day one got a little bit higher. We've been targeting this area for a while as a spot maybe to put on a short trade. It worked on day one, came off all the way back down to the support area. Yesterday, I guess people were more aggressive into the lower part of the band selling. It came right back down to the prior day's low, got through it. So we have this range to work with. We'll zoom out a little bit. And this is very low volatility for IWM as well. Usually tends to be much more volatile than the SPYs. So 166.80 to 167.80. All right, not that much in play today. Etsy is making a new all-time high. Wow. So these guys, this is really it's accelerating to the upside. So, geez, did the IPO at 35 or opened at 35 after the IPO? I don't remember the IPO price. We got hammered all the way down to below $10. Then in 2017 started to trend up, gapped up on earnings, broke out above 18, came back down to the retest, gapped up again on earnings. So I think this is last quarter. It gapped up from $21 stock, so now it's 39. So it's up almost 100% in a few months. Definitely had to look when it got above 37 about 5 minutes ago that they could try to push it to 40. So I would say in these situations, you generally want to be very careful about new all-time high, momentum. They raise revenue guidance. They're raising their fees. Some people could start to come out and really start to sell this thing and short this thing, just on how much it's gone up over the last couple of months. And you have the psychological level of 40 right here. Broke out in the pre-market from here. The thesis to short it now would be they're raising these fees. Will sellers start raising their prices, and then will volume start to go down, and it won't be as much of a boost as the market's expecting. That would be the opposing thesis. Question is, would those people come out today or tomorrow after a day of digesting the news? So here's the breakout a few minutes ago, above 37. Just hard to imagine it's not going to touch 40. That's the psychological whole number divisible by 10. Maybe it goes to 40, goes a little bit above it, and then we establish a trading range, comes back down to either here to 38 or to the breakout price. And then we kind of see in these situations like this where something has momentum, they raise guidance. We've seen recently, even on the profit taking on the open, it'll stick a bid at one of the levels we identify and then make a new high intraday. Which is fine. I'm prepared for either scenario. I'm prepared for this, sticks the bid, and moves above the pre-market high, or the flush all the way to the breakout price, and it goes back up to the high. But if it flushes all the way to the breakout price, and then comes up and has trouble above 38, and you see it come down and start to hold below 38, you do want to look to seek for a retest of the breakout price and see if it actually will come in for a deeper pullback. Those are the things I would be thinking about, what I'd want to see if I was looking for a deeper pullback. But right now, buyers are in complete control. Normally trades 2 million. It looks like it's going to trade 10 million shares today. Should be very liquid. The next one is TLRD. So this is a case of something that's run up a lot as well over the last few months. The earnings were okay. So this one, again, this is similar to Etsy. It was in the low 20s, ran up to the mid 30s.
Before announcing second quarter guidance and then the Uniform Echo.
So the low here on April 10th was 27.30. The next major support is kind of this breakout area from 26. That's what was the low in the after hours yesterday. Right now it looks like, what do we have for resistance? 30. Also a little bit here at 29. So I'm not putting the probability that high that we'll get a chance to buy it back down here at 26 again. So after bottom to 26 in the after hours, went up to 27. Then they started accumulating 26.30, 27. Ideally, we'd get a flush down closer to 27 on the open, 27, 27 and a half. Catch a bid there and then make a plate up to this area here. It's traded 200,000 shares in the pre-market, which is a lot. The stock normally only trades 1.2 million shares a day. On days it's really in play, it does 4 to 5 million shares. So this another one should be pretty liquid. And ideally, I'd want to buy it into a flush, at least at 27.50 on the open. The buyers keep on stepping up. You can see the buyers stepped up to 28 here. We're bidding in front of 28. So we may not get that opportunity. But have alerts at 28, 27.60, and 27 and a quarter in case it comes into this area right here. A spike on the open into 29 and a half, 30 is probably fadeable as well on the short side. MIK, They guided down a few percent on EPS. Revenue was a little bit light. My first thought was the revenues were very close to in line, but they were guiding down on EPS. Is there a margin problem? Investors don't like margins contracting. They like margins expanding. It's the opposite of Etsy potentially. Potentially because we don't have enough information, or I don't have enough information to draw that conclusion, but that would be the concern for why they lowered earnings per share guidance a few percent when revenue was pretty close to in line. Now, they took it right back down to this area here where it's been supporting since the beginning of May. We also have this issue, which is the trapped people issue. They bid it up in front of earnings. And so everybody's buying above 19, above 20, above 21. So you have these people be a little panicky. Now it's already, as I'm talking, it's bouncing from this 18 area. So really the question is, are these people who've been buying the last couple of days, are they going to start to sell if they see it up here around 20? And then it fails here, and then you get a retest. They're on the conference call right now, so maybe they're explaining why they guided down like that. Obviously, the market's reacting positively to it. Let's see here. So I have a script in to buy this thing closer to 18. Wow, it's already traded almost 800,000 shares. So this might be another case of the one where we may not have the opportunity to get it here. Let's see if they continue to buy it. Goes up into this area here. And if it's, I use 20 as the spot in the open, can it hold up here, or does it fail to hold above and then starts to hold below 1980? And look for the pullback where this move started from. I don't have a strong opinion on this either way. But so far, what they're saying in the conference call caused it to bounce over $1. And T from yesterday. So this one on the open came down to that 31.70, which we had as support too. I'm sorry, 32.70, which is right here. It did bounce about a half a point. Once it took out the morning low, if you wanted to short it below 32.70, that was fine. Went to the pre-market low. Depending on how conservative you were with the stop below here, I did not short it. I was doing some other things and just decided not to short right here. You might have been stopped out here if you're very conservative. If you gave it all the way to above 33, you ended up catching the afternoon down move. This is a really good example of this took hours to develop on the short side. Took out the morning low, came back up, then started to consolidate very tightly. If you have a bias, in this case, if you want it to be shorted, and you finally got a really tight consolidation, these are the sort of consolidations that the larger traders on the desk would use to put on a very big position because you can define your risk in a very narrow range. In this case, it was 70 cents buyer and a 73 cent seller. You could put on a decent sized position here with a nickel risk and then add to it on the break below this consolidation. And then you finally got the real down move, which was about a half a point, which in AT&T is almost 3/4 of an ATR. So looking at it this morning, alerts up here into where it broke down from yesterday. This would be the spot to fade it. I don't think it has much downside below 32. If you look in the longer term, 31.50 I think is the big major support. But any type of flush below 32, 31.80, 31.70, I'd be looking to fade. That happens very quickly right on the open. Next one is HRB. Our firm is still net short this, so even though I did get long it on the flush on the open yesterday, couldn't really be aggressive with it because of the firm's net short position. I wouldn't be able to hit out if it kept on going. Didn't really watch it the rest of the day. But if it continues to be accumulated above 24 and takes out yesterday's high, you can play for a move back up to 25, 25 and a half. If it starts to consolidate below 24 and then takes out 23.50 again, good chance it would take out yesterday's low and continue for some more downside. So prepared either way, played on either direction. CMCSA. So this was my focus on the open and was a really good stock. Went up 2 ATRs right from 31 on the open, got flat, into the 2 ATR move, into the prior day's low, which is where you should be looking to get flat. People out here. And then it came into VWAP. And I happened to be back on the desk right when that happened. A script would be a really good way to handle this trade. If something has a strong opening drive, and just put in a script to buy and pull back to VWAP. You can set up other criteria you want. Sell it at the morning high or 50% at the morning high, and then just have a trailing, I don't know, half ATR stop at that point. Unfortunately, in the after hours, it printed down a little bit here. I mean, I was already out of most of my shares, but in the after hours, it printed out here and somehow flipped me short, and then I just covered. That was weird. But looking at it for today, I like this bigger picture, longer term long. I don't know if I mentioned that in the morning meeting yesterday, but as long as it's above 32, I would continue to focus on being long this stock. 32, 32 and a quarter are two prices I'm looking at. And then finally, PVTL. Some people kept mentioned in the chat when it was being strong, consolidating above 26, made a new high. Reminds me of IQ in terms of an IPO that's making new highs. It's gapping up again in the pre-market. Seems like it's getting frothy. Frothy means it's run up a lot recently. So it was 20. Another one that was 22 seems to be the magic price in a lot of stocks we're looking at today. So it was at 22, went to 26 yesterday, and did the retest of the 26 when it pulled back here. Closed at the high, gapping higher. 30 is going to be the spot to use kind of this morning. Does it hold above it on the open, or does it fail and then come back down and test this 28 area? But just to compare it to like IQ, so I guess this was the earnings day. It got ahead of, so you can see IQ got ahead of itself. It had run up from, again, 22. 22 is the magic price today. Ran up from 22. They gapped it above 30. It came back down. It took a few days of actually consolidation, people buying it at the 28. And then it took out the high, and it's now consolidation, creating a new all-time high. So trend is still in place. Yeah, GLMD isn't dead. I just can only talk about so many things in the morning meeting. It was a really good short yesterday on the top here. Didn't quite get. I think you asked me about this in the chat yesterday. I shared my feelings on that. So same prices as yesterday. As always, be patient and good luck.
Hope you enjoyed that video. You can actually watch that video if you're subscribed to our Trader 90 before the market even opens. What stocks are in play? What levels in those stocks are important? And how we might go about attacking that stock. That's Steve Spencer, 20-year veteran trader, laying it out there every morning before the market even opens. A really, really powerful tool to start your session off on the right foot. So right now we're offering a trial that you can take advantage of to access this meeting and other meetings throughout the day. We have a meeting at 11 a.m. Eastern where you can sit down with Mike Bellafiore and listen to him talk about what's going on during the morning session, what stocks were in play, what the best trade opportunities were, as well as maybe some things that we're looking at heading into the afternoon session. So I really encourage you to take advantage of that trial.